Hi, everybody. This is Coach Tony. I'm here with
Coach Emilio.
this is our third episode of the SF Fit Familia Show. I'm super excited today to talk to Emilio Rodriguez. I met Emilio a few years ago. So we're going to start off. Emilio, he's our awesome boxing coach. I love what Emilio stands for. I love his brand, Champ Life. So, Champ, what is Champ Life?
So Champ Life is a lifestyle brand that I've created predominantly around fitness, but can also relate to other areas in life that you're trying to improve. The acronym that I've created for the word champ is changing habits and making progress, and added life at the end of it as a lifestyle to represent a lifestyle that you need to make in order to reach your goals. So I feel like changing habits and making progress can relate to any aspect in life. Like I
Yep.
said, that you're trying to improve. Um, it's not about the trophies. It's not about the belts. It's not about all these accolades that you get. It's about you becoming that champion in your own right and living up to your fullest potential.
Nice. Good. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I love that. So, let me ask you, Champ. So, how did you get into boxing in the fitness world?
So boxing kind of came into my life at a pivotal time. When I was done playing football, I played a little football, high school, college, but when it was over, I needed something to still keep me on track
Right.
for just the better of my life. So as they say, boxing chooses you. You don't choose boxing. So boxing really did change my life when I needed something to hold me accountable and keep me aligned with just on the positive route. So
Right.
boxing came into play and started competing. Turned out that I was pretty good at it. So you know, did a little amateurs and then became pro, and then yeah, now I'm just here, sharing my knowledge, sharing my love for the sport, and passing it on to the next
Yeah.
generations.
Good. Awesome. Now you said something there that helped you a little bit, maybe a little deeper in that. Now, how were you as a kid? How were you as a teenager? Were you an A student? Were you an athlete? Or how were you a little bit from you were a kid, a teenager? And I know a little bit about you and how boxing and fitness helped you become better. But maybe tell a little bit about how you were as a kid and as a teenager.
So I was definitely an athletics kid. I mean, my favorite sport. I mean, my favorite class would in school was PE. Like
So were
I
you
would.
an A student or
No,
something?
I wouldn't. I was far from an A student. I wasn't a bad student. I wasn't a good student, but I was definitely um outgoing, energetic all my life, and I've always felt like sports, fitness has been a huge part of my life. I've always felt like I've excelled more through expression in sports
Right.
and through fitness. So, um,
Were you a quiet kid? Were you
definitely not
a
a quiet kid.
travieso?
Yeah, you can say a little bit of that. You know what I mean? My parents have really instilled some strong character in me, so I feel like I have really I'm really expressive, and I go after the things that I want, and
Good.
sometimes it have got me into trouble. Sometimes it's created the character that I have, and
Right.
I've learned from mistakes, and I feel like we all have gone through these little episodes in our life that have made us better. So I feel like I wouldn't say necessarily like I was a bad kid. I just had a lot of experiences that built me to who I
Who
am
you are
today.
today. Correct.
And I feel like everybody um should
Maybe goes through
yeah
their struggles.
that everybody that does go through it should appreciate those times and not
That's
not
true.
consider those as bad times, because you wouldn't be who you are without those significant moments in life.
Life experience.
Yeah, those
Life
good
experience.
life
That
experiences.
that is
Yeah.
true too. So let me ask you. So with that said, who or who was the most influential person in your life? Or one or who was it?
I'd
Who
have
would
to
you say?
say anytime somebody asks me that question, I full heartedly have to say it was my parents. It was my mom and my dad. Like my mom and my dad have instilled me with so much love and given me everything they could. And I feel like they've really been like the motivating factor for me to just be the best that I can be in life. And I feel like I owe a lot to them. I owe everything to them, and I always keep that in my heart. And I continue to just lead by the example they would want me to portray and want
Nice.
want their son to represent them as. So yeah.
Now let me go back. How old were you when you first started boxing, and what was that feeling of did you feel that energy, or you felt that, wait a minute, I think I'm going to enjoy this? How old were you, and what did you feel when you doing that transition into like boxing?
So it's a funny story because I've actually mentioned this quite a few times, and it kind of gets repetitive. But the first time I was ever introduced to boxing, I was 14. Me and my sister got transferred to a different school, and there was a kid that was a male student that had put hands on my sister. So when I found that out,
Mm,
um, I wasn't gonna let that slide.
right.
So I had, arranged something for us to meet, and we actually got in a fist fight.
Okay,
So we
okay.
got in a fist fight, and when
So
I
you
went
were a
home.
promoter at a young age.
No, I wouldn't say I was a promoter, but I would definitely say, like, my parents have always
Right.
raised me, protect your sister.
Do
She's
the right thing,
Yeah, she's
protect your
we're
loved
only a
ones.
year apart. So
Right.
so when that had happened, I go home, I tell my dad about it, and then my dad, I just remember my dad being very quiet, but I could kind of tell looking back at it that, it was a proud moment that I had, did what I had
Stood
to do,
up
stood
for
up for my
yourself
sister.
and your
Yes.
sister.
Yes. So right after that, he introduced me to the boxing gym. And
Mm,
that's how the story of me going into boxing
started.
started.
Right.
So from there, I just found the love with boxing, but I was always in and out of the boxing gym because I was always committed to football year after year. Football was my main, um, was my true love at that time. Was my true love at that time. And
Right.
then in the off season, I would go back to boxing, and just back and forth throughout.
So I know you
14
had, like, how many amateur fights did you have about? Just curious.
I didn't start my amateur career until after college. I was 20, so I had that it's kind of late. That's late. I was
For
already an
boxing,
adult.
the
Yeah, for
boxing
boxing,
world.
that's really
Okay.
late. So I started at 20 to like 23, 24 maybe, and I had about 30 fights. Had about 30 amateur boxing fights.
And then I know you did a few professional fights because
Yeah,
I was at one of them. It
yeah,
was here in the Valley. It was like maybe 6 years ago. It was awesome. I
yeah,
was
yeah,
yelling
yes,
my
sir.
lungs out. So I'm happy, pretty excited. By that note, are you going to have another fight
There's
possibly coming up?
Yeah,
I heard around there.
there's definitely some more fight in me. We're still locking in dates. We're working towards locking in a fight.
Now, they're
So
going to be somewhere here in the San Fernando Valley. So maybe
that's what
that
we're
way
hoping for.
we
That's what
can
we're
go and cheer you on.
Yeah, no, definitely
All
that's what
right. So
we're
you
hoping
heard that
for.
here. There might be
Yeah.
another fight coming
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
So
that's what we're
I'm
hoping for.
excited for that. I'm excited for that. So I want to change a little bit. I want to ask you about men's health.
Mhm.
Um, what do you see when I know that you also have guys, man, that come and work with you, and there's one thing that I see that you do very well.
Mhm.
You really connect with your clients.
Mhm.
You really connect with your clients. You really hear your clients out. I remember the first time when I met you, I told Sandra, my wife, it was here when you came in. I told Sandra, hey, you know what? I like that kid a lot
Mhm.
when you first came up.
Thank
There was something about you that,
you.
you came up to me and you introduced yourself. And I remember a couple of times you came in late to the gym and we waited for you to finish your workout. And I remember telling Sandra, it's okay, let's wait a little bit so you can finish. You left, you came back, you were very grateful. So I love what you do there. I love
Thank
you.
you.
You understand how to connect with people. So what do you see in men that come to you? What's their struggles?
Well, I would say I think the hardest part, are we talking about like fitness or are we talking about
Yeah, I think about fairness, maybe about life, something that
Okay.
maybe that I share
I
with
feel
you.
like
And the reason for that I say that, champ, is because a lot of us guys, man, we don't really seek that help,
Right.
whatever that is, whether mental health, physical health. We don't seek that as much as women, but we do need that help. So anything that you can share that maybe your clients have probably shared with you.
I feel like the most important thing is as us as men, being okay with seeking help. I feel like
Mm,
a lot of times,
yeah,
I have mostly women clients, and I have very few. I have a handful of
right.
male clients, but I hear all the time they saying, like they were embarrassed or they were shy to ask for that help, and I tell them, I'm like, the first thing is accepting where you are right now,
Yeah.
and realizing that, you won't get anywhere until you get out of your comfort zone and seek that help, or ask for that help, or put yourself in a situation to be helped.
And I agree with you. I think the first thing in anything is really accept that, hey, you know what? I need help, and it's okay. Us Latinos, the way I grew up,
Of course.
the way we grew up, us Latinos is as a kid, I remember, playing sports, and my dad used to tell me, hey, no llores, no seas chillón, los niños no lloran, boys are not supposed to cry. So, we kind of grow up with it, with that nurturing of, hey, we're supposed to suck it up, but
Right.
there's nothing wrong in admitting that, hey, we need help. We need help. So I totally agree, 100%, 100% of that. Um, so let me ask you. So, what would you recommend somebody that is looking for that help? Just
Well, if you don't say anything, you're not gonna get the answer to it. So, I would I would I would just recommend, male men, um, just open up, be vulnerable. As hard as it may be at certain times, be vulnerable to seek that help,
right,
whether it be in fitness,
right.
whether it be in your mental clarity, whether it be in anything in life. Because if you don't speak on it, nobody's ever gonna know. And that frustration over time built up in you could definitely, like, it could hurt you. It could hurt your future, because you're wasting time. Like, we only have a certain amount of time
Yeah,
here, and if you're not if you're not open to the fact of you know putting yourself out there, and making yourself vulnerable, just so you could be better, I mean,
yeah.
you
And
may
then
be wasting your time,
And
honestly.
then I'm gonna add also there, I think you would agree, a lot of times, us men, when we're trying to raise a family, we have a wife, we have kids, um, sometimes we work so hard, we're in focus in the career, um, we kind of lose ourselves, but we're
Mhm.
so focused on trying to make a career, trying to have a family and raise a family. That is hard. That is hard. So speaking about that, having a family, I know that you have a lovely, wonderful girl in your life.
Mhm.
You have two beautiful daughters, and I know that we've talked a little bit about that. I know that definitely you want something more out of your life
Mhm.
than just a regular 9 to 5 job. So tell us a little bit about, your girl, your daughters. I know that they're your motivation.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, I have two daughters, and I strive every day to be the best person that I could be, because that's how I feel deep in my heart. Like, I have to lead by example, and I have to
Right.
show them, the true meaning of a man. I have to set the example with
Mhm.
how I treat my girlfriend.
True.
I have to have them see for themselves, what a gentleman is, and what they should seek in a man, and how they validate their own selves, because I don't ever want my daughters to feel like they need validations from other men, other sources, like,
I agree
my
100%.
daughters will be independent, strong, hopefully athletic ladies, and
How old
that's
are they? How old are they? What's their names, your
four
daughters?
4 years old. Jaylene is 4 years old, and Gianna is 9 months. Yeah,
9, 9, 9. What? Shooting for the boy anytime soon?
we'll see.
All right, we'll see. That to be continued
To
right
be
there.
continued.
So, what would you um, what would you say to somebody that wants a little bit of advice of how to find a little bit of balance? Can I know that you're trying to find that balance
Mhm.
in the career and in your family. Um, what would you say if I were to come to you and I say, hey, Champ, I'm trying to find, I'm trying to find a balance. I'm trying to give me a little bit of time.
I'd say I'm honestly the wrong person to ask about that. But what I will encourage is that you just keep digging, keep trying to figure it out, because we don't know the answers to everything.
That is
And
true.
and I will say that, um this is something I also need help on, is having structure in your daily routine, and just time management. You know what I mean? Like, what is it that you're trying to accomplish, and what what are your priorities? Having your priorities aligned, you know what I mean? Because a balanced life, yeah, we all try to aim for a balanced life, but something you have to sacrifice something. Something will always be sacrificed for a balanced life. So you just have to keep digging, trying to figure it out, and realize, what's more important, what's most important in your life.
Right.
And I mean, the truth will prevail. You know what I mean? If it's whatever you're searching for, you're gonna when the time comes, you're gonna realize what your mission was.
So let me ask you. So I know that you train also ladies,
Of
right?
course,
You
yeah.
are not just gentlemen, but where can people find you? Where can people find you? Where can people reach you? Where can people follow you?
Oh, social media. So I'm on Instagram, at Emilio RDQZ, short for Rodriguez.
Okay.
I'm here at San Fernando Fitness, Monday through Friday. Sometimes Saturdays. Come by in, stop
Yeah.
in. 6:45 on Wednesdays. I teach a boxing class here. So yeah, I'm pretty much here, or if I'm not here, I'm
Out and
here there.
about.
I'm out and about. You know
That
what I
is so
mean?
true. Out and
Yeah.
about. So, thank you, Emilio the Shard Rodriguez,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So, Champ Life. I
Champ Life
love that.
Fitness. Yes.
I love that acronym. I love what it stands for. So, follow Champ Emilio Rodriguez. Thank you very much. It's
Thank
a
you so
pleasure,
much, buddy.
man,
Thank
and
you
I
so
wish you
much.
the best.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, so this was Coach Tony.
With Coach Emilio.
See you next time on our SF Fit Familia show.